October is here, which means it's time again for Microsoft to release new hardware. While the Surface Duo may have been the talk of the town last month with its intriguing new form factor, today's announcements are almost boring in comparison. The company just unveiled the new Surface Laptop Go and updates to the Surface Pro X, in addition to some accessories to go along with the new devices. We haven't had a chance to check out these gadgets in person yet, but for now let's take a look at what we know about these new toys at the moment. First up, the Surface Laptop Go. Like the Surface Go, this is a mini version of an existing product. In this case, it's the Surface Laptop, which currently exists in 13-inch and 15-inch models. The Laptop Go, meanwhile, sports a 12.4-inch Pixel Sense touchscreen and, according to Microsoft, a roomy trackpad and full-size keyboard with 1.3mm travel. Smaller laptops like this tend to have cramped and shallow keys, so it will be interesting to see if the typing experience manages to impress. There's also a fingerprint scanner embedded in the power button that sits on the top right of the keyboard for convenient sign-in via Windows Hello. You won't be able to sign in with an IR camera, but the Laptop Go's 720p webcam should be perfectly adequate for all your Zooms or team meetings. If you need more accessories, you can connect them via the USB-A or USB-C ports, or use a headphone jack. Since it uses an Intel 10th generation Core i5 processor with up to 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, the Laptop Go should have plenty of power for most tasks. It doesn't seem beefy enough to handle more demanding tasks like video editing though. Microsoft is promising up to 13 hours of battery life on this, which is in line with most modern ultra portables. Along with its compact size, the Laptop Go also comes in attractive new colors. There is the standard silver gray, but also a copper gold-ish sandstone shade and a light blue option. Those last two look really good in the renders and videos that Microsoft provided. And for a starting price of $549, the Laptop Go looks like a compelling option. Although I'd need to use it in person to know how I truly feel about the colors and performance. I have already seen and reviewed the Surface Pro X, which is Microsoft's Snapdragon-powered PC. Today, the company announced some updates for the ARM-based machine, with the most significant being a new processor. The Microsoft SQ2 chipset is the fastest processor in its class, according to the company, with a big caveat that this class is limited to existing ARM-based PCs, which are largely powered by Qualcomm. Microsoft hasn't shared many details, and in the past only described the older SQ1 chip as sharing DNA with Qualcomm's Snapdragon processors. But it is likely that the SQ2 is a customized version of the recently announced Snapdragon 8CX Gen 2 chipset. You can choose to buy a Surface Pro X with the new SQ2 processor now, as well as in a new silvery platinum finish. There are also 3 new colors for the matching signature keyboard: platinum, poppy red, and that same pretty ice blue from the Laptop Go. Very little else about the updated Surface Pro X is new. Microsoft is promising longer battery life of up to 15 hours across both configurations and continues to call this the thinnest Surface yet. That sleek profile might explain why there isn't 5G availability, by the way. The Pro X will only work on 4G and support gigabit LTE networks for connectivity, and that's still going to offer decent speeds even as 5G rolls out more widely in the next 2 years. The biggest issue for Windows on ARM isn't 5G connectivity, it's app compatibility. Not only is software still buggy on many of these devices, you also can't expect to install every app you might want or need on a lot of these machines. Microsoft did announce a new App Assure program last month to tackle this challenge, assigning its own engineers to work with developers to get their apps working on Windows and Snapdragon. We don't know how successful that program will be just yet, but it's at least an encouraging start. Meanwhile, you'll be able to use any app you can download from the Windows Store, as well as most 32-bit .exe installers from the internet, thanks to Microsoft's software emulator. The updated Surface Pro X also features some less obvious tweaks. Microsoft said it made optimized versions of Edge and Teams for Windows on ARM, so they'll perform faster while using less battery. The eye contact feature from last year is graduating from its experimental status and will help you make sure you look like you're actually looking at your colleague on these video calls. Microsoft also spent a lot of time in its announcement videos showing off the Surface Pen, which has its own little slot in the signature keyboard cover like it did before. In addition to the two new Surfaces, Microsoft also introduced new accessories like a designer compact keyboard, numberpad, ergonomic mouse, modern mobile mouse, and a 4K wireless display adapter. You can already pre-order the Laptop Go and Surface Pro X's new configurations starting today, and they'll be available for purchase from October 13th. But I'd recommend you wait until we can fully test these devices out before you go spending money on them. For those reviews, as well as coverage on all of the smartphones, wearables, tablets, laptops that might be worth your money, make sure you subscribe to Engadget. And as always, thank you for watching.